Hello again, I'm Milenvial, and in the last episode we met Tessa, who I don't like because she doesn't like being called cute, and she doesn't like Kyo. Not nice. As Kyo darted towards the time window, I was given time to recover and take in what changes that the changes that had been made to my surroundings while I had been away. And we're just now moving on. Before there had been a messy, tangled network of tubes, wires, and cables that connected the time window to all of the various devices in the lab. Those were all gone now, and there were several wells around the base of the time window, while a secondary ring had built around the main platform, making me think that the wires had been concealed underneath it, which would be smart. A couple of monitors and control panels had been built close to the time window, and one of them looked like a display at the hospital monitoring someone's vital signals. In fact, Kyo had hooked the game system onto one of those monitors, and the game screen was showing on one of them. But the change that really grabbed my attention was a large, physical plastic cylinder surrounding the time window's main platform, completely blocking it off from the rest of the world. Ooh, what is all this? A long overdue upgrade in terms of safety and security, Kenji. We've gone to a great deal of trouble to make certain that what happened to you and Michelle never happens to anyone ever again. It's a plexiglass shield, Kenji. Gramps and the others set it up so that we can raise it up whenever we decide to use the time window. If we had something like this in place before, I might not be where I am now, whatever that is. It's plexiglass, Ken. Can I call you Ken, can't I? Anyway, I found it on sale after some big aquarium got shut down. It and several spares, all at a huge discount, and we keep it lowered whenever the time window's not actually being used. So next time Tenshi Brainchild decides to fire itself up so it can snack on somebody else, it'll have to just go hungry. I frowned a bit as I looked between Michelle and Tessa. I like Michelle more than Tessa. I don't know why. Even if Michelle was a she bitch in the first game. Um, Michelle told me about being plexiglass, and Oh, she did? Did you mention that I'm the one who found all this hardware? Now I was getting even more confused. Tessa can't see or hear Michelle Kenji, since she's never traveled through time. She's never absorbed any of the quantum energies that flow through the time stream. And since what you see of Michelle is essentially a quantum energy construct being projected by the time window. Okay, but if that's the case, then how can you see and hear her? You've never been through the time window either. That's a good question, Kenji. I've wondered about it on and off myself. And the only thing I can come up is with when the time window is activated, it releases quantum ammunition into our dimension. Not nearly as much as those encounters while actually time traveling, but since I've been working on the time window for over 2 years, perhaps there's been enough cumulative exposure to allow me to perceive Michelle as well. Don't forget, there's still a great deal we don't know about time travel, Kenji. We've only just begun to scratch the surface of this new world of science, and so there's still a good deal that we don't understand and can't predict, which is one of the things that make time travel so potentially hazardous. I wondered if Grandpa had come to regret building the time window in the first place. Okay, Michelle, let's try again, and this time I won't let myself get distracted. I was thinking I'll take a pass on you beating me again at this thing. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate the distraction, but getting my butt handed to me over and over is not the best distraction I could have. I can relate to that, but Michelle, how can you play a game anyway? I thought that Gramps and the others modified the time window so I can control all of its system, even while I'm stuck like this. On top of that, I can also work any machine that's linked to the time window. Even though I'm trapped, I can at least watch movies, play video games, and she can still control the time window and do her old job. So it's not like we need anybody to replace her. It was clear that tensions and bad blood had been rising steadily in my absence. Hey, relax, Kyo. Just because I can still work the machine doesn't mean there's any substitute for having a warm body to handle things here, just in case there's a malfunction. And we do need someone here to work all the manual overrides you've all installed, just in case of a system failure. In case you were wondering, Tessa, Michelle just endorsed you filling in for her. While Tessa was making a noise of comprehension, I looked back at Michelle. What about you, Michelle? How are you holding up? As well as can be suspected, I guess. I mean, it helps having stuff hooked into the time window, but staring at these same walls day in, day out. I have to admit, it feels really weird not having to eat or sleep or anything like that. I nodded my understanding. Nodded my. We're not correcting anything. I'm not as good either. I've terribly misunderstood words. Anyway, as Michelle watched, solemnly rolled her eyes and folded her arms under her chest. And despite everything, I found my eyes drawn to her voluptuous body, two mammoth curves bulging from her chest so huge that they were larger than her head. Yeah, they are. The skimpy time suit she wore hardly kept her massive bust in check, and I couldn't help but wonder how much strain the fabric could. Time suit. Wait a second. And what are you looking at? Ack! Don't think I didn't notice you staring at them, you perv. Michelle flashed me a mischievous smile before inhaling deeply, thrusting out her chest towards me. Oh, I could have sworn I heard her outfit creaking as her tremendous breasts strained to break free of the close restriction. Well, I guess I don't mind you staring. After all, the girls are kind of hard to miss these days. Ooh, now she's posing even. Michelle then did a proactive twirl, her hair flowing about her like a cloak and giving me the perfect view of her shapely rear. Well, she's doing it. Just remember, you can look, but you can't touch. Although her voice started off teasing, Michelle's voice suddenly gave out like the last words had reminded her of the situation she was in. No, 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 no. That isn't it. I just noted that you're wearing your time suit, but when you Oh, I get it. Yeah. We didn't notice until after you left, but for some reason, even though Michelle was wearing her own regular clothes, well, that happened. The time window still shows her as wearing her time suit. We don't really get it why. My best guess is that since Michelle only used the time window while wearing her time suit, the time window now associates her with her unique biological signature with that same outfit. This depicts her as wearing it even though she isn't. As I've said, there's still a great deal about time travel we don't understand, and even less than we understand about this. Alarm! Yes! My grandfather was interrupted as the alarm sounded. Red lights began flashing in the time window room. Hey, what's going on? The sensors just picked up a temporal distortion. Someone just traveled back in time. It's Mizuki and Bunny. They're at it again. Michelle, has Rose re-entered the lab? Let's see. Okay, here it is. Yeah, the computer showed the elevator was active 10 minutes ago using her password. Alright then, Kyo. Get changed and if you see Rose. Right, Tensai. Be back in a jiffy. As Kyo scampered off looking giddy as usual, Tensai sighed. I was hoping we had more time to prepare to get everything ready before we had to deal with those two, but no, here we go again. What should I do, Tensai? You'll be staying here with me and helping Michelle and I with the controls. Remember, you're never going through the time window before, so you have no experience with the way it changed your body and how to compensate for that change in a fight. Even more, Kyo and Rose haven't finished your time suit or the weapons for you and Kenji. Huh? A weapon for me? As I've said, Kenji, things are changing. We all need to be ready for whatever happens next. I couldn't help but feel uneasy by the way my grandfather said these words. But before I could give them any more thought, the door opened and revealed Rose and Kyo, who darted in. Ah, her handy duster. What What the? As Tessa stared at the newly arrived girls, her jaw dropped in disbelief. So honestly, I couldn't blame her for feeling stunned by the scantily clad Rose and Kyo. Hey, should they look good? Even though I still have some memories of the effects that time travel had on the girl's body, I realized that their time suit practically left nothing to the imagination. As always, Rose wore her plated armor, which shifted and flexed with her supple body as she moved around. Her arms and legs were thoroughly armored, and she had plated corset with a bikini bottom that gave everyone a perfect view of her exquisite figure. From her hips hung a large, powerful-looking sword that I have seen her wield with considerable skill. Meanwhile, Kyo was wearing what could only be described as lingerie from a French-made costume. A skimpy white-laced bikini with a matching garter belt that let down, a set of silk stockings, and a set of high-heeled shoes, all accentuating her hourglass figure. She also had a laced headpiece carried with the fairy duster, which I knew from experience could transform into an energized whip. And she licks her lips all the time. As I did my best to keep myself from doing something stupid, Tessa made a series of astonished and disapproving noises. Are you two kidding me? You're honestly going to fight in those ridiculous outfits? Why don't you just go through the window new while you're at it? Well, I wanted to, but the others refused the petition I made. Michelle, have you been able to log on where Mizuki and Bunny have gone? No, this can't be right. That's impossible. The rest of us looked towards Michelle, who was studying the various monitors and the displays while shaking her head at the results she was getting. What is it, Michelle? Where are they? There's gotta be a malfunction of some kind. There's no way these readings are correct. Michelle, what's wrong? Finally seeming to become aware of our voice, Michelle looked toward all of us and shook her head. According to these readings, Bunny and Mizuki are somewhere in Egypt in the 15th century BC. But Michelle, that simply can't be correct. Check again. I've already double-checked the data and run diagnostics on all systems. The data checks out. I know it's impossible, but it still checks out. What is going on? I can't hear her, remember? But that can't be. They're seriously in the 1500s? BC? 1500s? That's over 3,000 years ago. That can't be right. Farthest we've ever been able to go is in the 1600s AD. Time window becomes unstable if we try anything further back than that. How can Mizuki and Bunny go back thousands of years when they're using a future version of our time window? Oh, I see. Well, it is the future, right? Maybe their version of the time window is more advanced than ours. I mean, I know you said that their future was totally wrecked, but still, maybe. Obviously, something has changed to allow Mizuki and Bunny to go back further in time than they could have before. And that same thing must be what's increased the sensory range of our time window, being able to detect them in ancient Egypt. And I think it's quite obvious what that something is. You think Michelle's boosting the range of the time machine? Tensai, I told you I'm not doing anything. That's not what I meant, Michelle. What I think is, now that you've merged with the time window, your presence is somehow increasing its operation range, allowing it to scan and apparently travel far greater distance through time than it could previously. So, you improved the time machine, even though you're just there. You really think that's what it is? That That's it, Grandpa? I can't think of any other possible explanation. Unfortunately, there's only one way for us to find out for certain. Michelle, set the time window for their coordinates, but don't raise the shield until we're certain that the portal's stable enough to allow for safe transit. It was clear that Michelle wasn't happy about this, but I watched as the center platform of the time window began to glow. Flash of what seemed like lightning began dancing about the pyramid between the platform and overhang as the time window rapidly became brighter, to the point almost blotting Michelle out. Rose, Kyo, we haven't had a chance to properly test all of the time machine system. You've both gone back only once since Michelle has merged with it. It was only about 50 years in the past. Neither of you have ever gone back that far, so there's no way for us to predict what will happen. So if you don't feel the risk is worth it, then. But it is worth it, Tensai. Whatever Bunny and Mizuki are doing, this is our first chance to try and talk them down since we lost contact with them last week. We need to find out what happened and what might have changed with them. Besides, we've already seen the results of a paradox, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone, including them. Yeah, I'm still not sure about the butterfly effect, but I do want to help them with their future. Everyone, the port is stable. I don't know how, but we've got a confirmed block on the proper place and time. We're as ready as we're ever gonna be. Then raise the shield. Rose, Kyo, best of luck to you both. Rose and Kyo nodded before heading towards the time window as some other machinery were raising the plexiglass shield that kept people safe from its potential wrath. Good luck, you two, and please do whatever you can to talk to Bunny and Mizuki down for me, okay? Remember that whatever they're doing, they're just trying to save their own world. I promise, Michelle, we'll do whatever we can for them. Same here. Rose and Kyo both disappeared from view as I stepped onto the platform, and the light of the time window died down, allowing me to see Michelle again. And an instant later, the shield slowly lowered back into place. I'm putting the time window on observance mode, bringing the girls upon the monitor. Here's hoping you're right about this, Gramps. Agreed. As I looked at the large monitor, the vortex existed outside of time and space appeared on the screen. A few moments later, so did Rose and Kyo. Ugh, I'm not looking forward to this. Just relax and hang in there. We've done this plenty of times before. But never this far back. I don't even want to think how big we're gonna. Uh, hang on, Rose. Ooh, I never felt so tingly. Ooh. Rose gasped as her breast virtually exploded in her armor constraint, quickly swelling up bigger and bigger as they bounced about uncontrollably. Kyo's own ample bust burst outward to their minimal outfit, forcing the whip wielder to wrap her arms under them to give them better support. Uh, it's never been so strong before. Oh, I know. Kyo closed her mouth tightly as the forces of time travel caused her chest to grow even larger, transforming her girls into vertical mountains and straining her simple bra to its limit. The sound of moaning and metal groaning and the fabric creaking ominously were all heard in the time window room. Yeah. You gotta be kidding me. Is this for real? Quite real. I have to admit, I had a hard time believing it myself when I first saw it with my own eyes. But how is this even possible? I can think of at least a dozen different physical and biological laws that say this sort of thing should be completely impossible. And I bet those same laws say that time travel is impossible too, right? Okay, good point. As I said this, the girls continued to squirm and shift. Their hips flared mightily, further expanding their hourglass figures. How much more are we gonna go? Holy! The rose armor was creaking under the heavy protest as well. Her boots had become so huge that they almost seemed to be trying to spill over the top of her chest plate. And Kyo's top wasn't faring much better. Her burgeoning bust-line blossomed ever bigger and leaving her sweating and panting from the dramatic changes her body was going through. Okay, I like big boobies, but this is getting to be oh boy, this could be a problem. I was about to ask Tessa what Tessa meant, but before I could get any words out, the vortex faded to an arid wasteland. And this is where we're gonna stop. Thank you so much for watching. We'll find out next episode what happens with them. Like and subscribe if you want to. And until next time, goodbye.